Hi girls, this is 4G multiplying fractions. I'm sorry about this little shadow, it's just how it's going to be. Okay, so when you multiply fractions, you don't need to build fractions. There's no need for a common denominator. In fact, I don't want you to get a common denominator. So that's a really, really good thing. So that's the important part. It's easy. So make sure the fractions are not mixed numbers. So you would have to change them into improper fractions. And to multiply, you go straight across the top, straight across the bottom. So let me just do one. Let's do 2 over 7 times 3 over 5. Those are both common fractions. And I go straight across the top. 2 times 3 is 6. And straight across the bottom, 7 times 5 is 35. So it's so much easier than adding. Okay, sometimes you have to simplify before you multiply. Okay, so sometimes the problem looks like this. It might be 14 over 30 times 10 over 20. I wouldn't multiply this because the numbers are going to be really, really huge. I might look at each one separately and say, hey, I know 2 can go into both of those numbers, and so I'll simplify it to 7 over 15. That's a really good skill to have. And then this is the same as that. And then times, and I might look at this one and go, 10 over 20, that's just 1/2. Okay, so simplifying before multiplying is a really good idea. So I multiply across the top, 7 over 30. If you didn't simplify before multiplying, you would end up getting 140 over 600. And then you'd have to start simplifying from there to get to here. So it's easier to simplify first. Also, if you have 2 1/8 times 2/3, you need to switch that into a regular fraction. So 2 times 8 is 16, 17 over 8, review switching if you need to, times 2/3. Okay. I'm also allowed to do this. It's kind of tricky, but you're allowed to go, here, I simplified top to bottom. I'm allowed to simplify this way, top to bottom. So I'm allowed to say 2 goes into 8 4 times, and 2 goes into 2 once. And then I can go 17 times 1 over 4 times 3. That's pretty tricky. If I didn't do that simplification, I would have had 17 times 2, which is 34, and 8 times 3, which is 24, and then I would have had to simplify it to get 17 over 12. Either way, you got to simplify in the end. Okay, let's look at multiplying a whole number by a fraction. So 7 times 1/5 is exactly the same. I'm going to write 7 as a fraction. I'm going to write it as 7 over 1, because 7 divided by 1 is 7. And then I'm going to do it times 1 on 5. And I go straight across the top. 7, straight across the denominator, 5. So easy. So when you multiply a whole number by a fraction, you're really just multiplying it by the top, by the numerator. Okay, finding a fraction of a quantity. What does this mean? It's kind of like finding a percentage of a quantity. So if I want to say 1/4 of 80. 1/4 of 80. Really what I'm doing is I'm dividing by the bottom and then multiplying by the top. So if I say 2/3 of always means times, to tell you the truth, 2/3 of 9. I divide by the bottom. I'm going to write a little steps here. What's the bottom called? Denominator. That's nice. Divide, denominator, and multiply by the numerator. Nice. Multiply n and m close together. So I take 9 and I divide it by 3 and I get 3. And then I do 3 times 2 is 6. Okay. So this says 2/5 of 15 bananas. Okay. So 2/3, I'm sorry. So I go 2/3 times 15. So what do? I divide by the bottom. 15 divided by 3 equals 5. And then times by the top, this answer. 5 times 2 equals 10. So 10 is the final answer for this. 10 bananas. Nice. Okay, 3/10 of 50 lollies. You should pause and do this on your own. And then see if the answer is right. There's my answer. I hope you got it. All right, let's turn. There's lots of questions here, and I want you to actually try them by yourself and then come back and see if you're right and check your answers. Okay, I'm ready to do some answers. This one was 2 on 15, cross top, cross bottom. This one I simplified a little bit first and got 2/3. Or maybe you multiplied first and then simplified and got 2/3. This one I simplified these fractions, of means times, and I got 1/4. This one I put 21 over 1 to make a fraction, and I ended up getting 21 divided by 3, which is just 7. This one I get 2/5 times 32 over 1. Or I could do it like I did before, divide by 5. Ooh, that's hard, isn't it? That's a hard one. 5 goes into 32. It goes in 6 times with a remainder of 2. So I'm going to have to use a decimal place. We haven't really done that yet. I think it's 6.4. So 6.4 times 2. I don't like it that way. That's crummy. I'm going to use this way. I'm going to do 2 times 32 is 64 over 5 and leave it. Okay, I don't even want to change it into a mixed. Okay, this one's going to be 7 times 5. Let's see, it's 35 over 6. Easy. Multiplying here, boy, there can be some simplification here. I'm going to do it. I'm going to say top to bottom, 4 goes in here twice, 4 goes in here once. What can that be? 1 and 3. So get 6 over 1 or 6. These you're going to have to change to improper first. I'm going to pause. I just want to show you this one. This one I changed into improper. I can't cancel these 7s because they're not top to bottom. They're both on the top. So I just have to go across the top, across the bottom. This one I changed to mixed numbers, and I can see from top to bottom I can do some simplifying. I know that 5 goes in 5 once, and 5 goes into 25 5 times, and I know 4 goes into 4 once, and 4 goes into 12 3. And then I can do 15 times 3 over 1, which is just 15. Okay, this simplifying is kind of new to you, but I think you should give it a go. Okay, there are your problems.